What's up, YouTube? Freaks and Geeks, aka NoahC, back at it again today for another video. And today I want to talk about just the R1, man, in the game. I want to talk about the, is it too good, on console anyway, not on PC, etc., but just on console. I was having a discussion with one of my friends earlier, and we were trying to figure out exactly why is the R1 so good in this game, on console. And I said to myself, well, it's because it's fast, man. I mean, that's pretty much all it is. And then I said, is it more or less like, is it just assassin specific? And the reason why I say that is because most assassins have light chains. So from light chains, they are able to basically go into something else that's pretty quick, or they can just initially tag you with one light and then back away. And so most of the time, reason why I say these things is that you got wardens, you got warlords, you got nobushis, you got lawbringers, like just every class in the game has some type of fast light attack besides Shigoki. And I say that to myself to be like, why is it like that? I personally think that, because of the fact they made the R1 not really balanced on console versus PC, I think that's why it's so abused so much. I find myself poking more people with Nobushi than, a lot of the other times and a lot of other attacks that I do. Granted, I want to hit people with sidewinders, or granted I want to hit people with like some type of, mix up, anything that I try doing. But what I figured out is, most of the time, whenever it comes down to just the actual playstyle of these characters, is that every character has something that works for them. And so, I think, for any of my assassin mains out there, I would like you guys to kind of, tell me, how does it feel to play an assassin knowing that, majority of the times, your attacks are safe. Like, you might find that one good player who's parrying everything that you throw out, and then, you have to play mind games with them from lights to heavies. But then it's like, do you feel safe playing an assassin versus any other class you would normally pick up? Because I have a hard time, actually playing the assassin class, and I think it's because of reflex guard. But, I told myself I wanted to pick up somebody to be able to, like, actually, fight back when an assassin player wants to try me, and I can't beat them with my mains. But I know people that play assassins most of the time can't react to assassins. Most of the time, there are good players that actually, do assassin matchups with their friends and stuff like that to get used to it, so that way they're considered top assassin. And I ask you guys, is that all it takes to actually get good with playing assassins? Is to practice. I mean, I played this game for a pretty long amount of time, almost over 90 days worth of playtime. That's probably, a lot of you are probably laughing at that or whatever. But it's like, I say to myself, how much experience do you need to be able to deal with like 500 millisecond lights, or 500 millisecond zone attacks, or 400 millisecond zone attacks from PK, etc., I mean, I don't know how as far it is with like the time snap and the dedicated servers, all that stuff like that. I don't know what's really helping and what's hurting us at the same time, because they don't have dedicated servers and customs, and that kind of bothers me, because it's like a lot of people play more customs than anything, and I say to myself, that's not fair to the people who actually play the game and, want to play with their friends, because they're getting a misjudgment of what's actually there, what's not there, etc. So for me, I'm like, I don't know if being good is the solution to actually beating an assassin. Because even good players lose to assassins a lot of times. People lose to the R1 button all the time, Like, I mean, I keep trying to bring it back to assassins, but I'm just asking, is it too good? Like I think the problem is, though, the games should be balanced differently on every single platform. Every platform, like console, console, PC, Xbox, etc., because these games don't run the same. You know, like I was having a conversation with Kenzo, and he had played PC after a while. He got like his new graphics card, etc. And so, you know, he told me, man, he's like, yo, this is an entirely different game, man. Like, I can react to everything, like literally everything. And, you know, he said he was, you know, parrying a lot of, like, you know, Orochi's attacks and any other assassin that basically came up there to actually, like, fight him. So I said to myself, I'm like, yeah, okay, so I want to go there and see how it is, but why is it such a difference from console to PC? I mean, of course it's framework, but why can't they balance it to where, you know, it's more reactable for us over here? Like, don't get me wrong, you know, it helps a lot, you know, to be able to react to some fast attacks, because, you know, overall it makes you a better player. It really does. And, you know, this kind of mindset for when you go to PC one day and you come from console, you know, it's really good. Like, you know, you'll feel like you'll be able to react to more stuff. You know, I mean, I can't stress it enough how much of the assassin class and what it does for the game. Like it messes up the whole balance. Like it's all over the place. Because if you have people that have an R1 setting motion that can legitimately just stop you out of every chain that you've ever practiced in your entire For Honor career, you know, that's very disheartening, you know. And I think, you know, as far as balances go and, you know, balance patches and stuff like that, they need to try to make something work, you know what I'm saying? They need to make it work. I'm sorry, guys, I'm not running off that much sleep today, but I just wanted to get this out here to kind of ask you guys, yo, like, the more time that For Honor goes on, you know, things have to get better. And I think in the direction of actually being able to do something with that, we need to try to figure out how it would be to balance an assassin. You know, my homie Zilla said that assassins shouldn't have guards, and I think that, you know, that will probably help it out a lot. Because, you know, they already have the same amount of health as a lot of the hybrids in the game. And for an assassin, you know, I think this is the gripe about with the Shinobi people who actually, you know, used to play with him before he got his little health buff, is that they don't last long. But he does mad damage. I mean, and I think that's the give and take. Is that, you know, you can't have somebody that's doing high damage, but they can stay in the game, you know, a lot longer than a lot of the other casts. You know, that's crazy, you know, to me. In general, that's crazy to me. I don't personally think that if we got to a point to where, you know, the assassins were quote unquote balanced, I personally think the game would probably be in a lot better state. I think it would be more skill and it would be less cheese, because dying to just R1s is gay. Dying to just zone attacks is gay. I mean, we're all hitting R1, R2, R1, R2 combination at some point, but everybody particularly works a lot harder than the assassin class does. Not saying it doesn't take some type of skill to be able to play with the assassins, you know, etc., because like I said, I suck with them. So, you know, in retrospect, it's like, can we do something to make this not such a problem? And that's my thing is to the whole community, is that I'm trying to figure out, are we in a time to where, you know, the game's getting faster, you know, the people want the turtle metal to go away, you know, etc., you know, like, what can we really do? But it's like, I personally don't think it's that. I think we need more options to open more people up, because I play Dragon Ball Z Fighters, right, guys? And so as I play fighters on a consistent basis, you know, I'm starting to learn how it is to play 2D fighters regularly and what it means to actually play an actual fighter. And while they say a lot of this stuff like For Honor would last, because of the simple fact is they don't have the things that the majority of the people have. You know, they don't have multiple ways to open you up versus just being able to do X, Y, and Z, rock, paper, scissors, stuff like that. Granted, it comes down to a little bit of guessing, but that's how fighting games are. Like, you know, you can't just sit there and, you know, just attack somebody the whole game and, you know, not be some strategy into it. You know what I mean? We need to be able to, you know, do more. And that's why I think, like Art said it best too, game's very one-dimensional, because it, from the standpoint of you just sitting there and looking at someone to be able to block everything and react to everything that they do, you know, in a fighting game, you know, that equates to nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just look at somebody in fighters and expect to win, or you can't just look at somebody, you know, and try to hope to parry something and get a confirmed damage. Like, you have to actually work for it, you know. And in here, I think we need to work. We need to have something where things work a little. It's a little bit more balanced in terms of what should be allowed, what shouldn't be allowed, etc., etc. You know, because I'm just at a point to where I figured if the game's gonna evolve, like E3's coming up, right? And we, like, let's say this is For Honor's big time to shine, to come back. We can't have the same stuff. We can't have the stuff that made people leave the game in the first place. You know, they're trying their hardest to really balance it, and you know, I give them kudos for that, except Roman, because like I said, a lot of these ideas come from him, and a lot of this stuff just isn't right. And I personally feel like, again, they cater to PC more than their biggest fan base, and it's like, I don't understand. You know, you have to come to a sense of understanding that this game in particular is not just one-sided. And that's why when these PC updates happen and we console players, we get them, we got so many gripes, but we're never heard, you know. Like, they had a trailer and they were talking about how they listened to like the top players in the community on but there wasn't no, you know, they didn't give any names, but I'm pretty sure it's nobody on the PS4 side. Even the big YouTubers even have a hard time getting in contact with Ubisoft, you know, like the people who play console anyway. So I'm just like, wow, you know, we just gotta do something about this. But, you know, at the end of the day, we need to figure out, you know, why this has gone on for so long, and why R1, you know, particularly is just so good on console. Like, if we needed to be slower, you know, is that the right direction for it being good? You know, because sometimes then that, you know, brings up the question, is it too reactable? You know what I'm saying? We don't want things to be too reactable. We want things to be fair, but we don't want them to be too reactable. I don't want nothing to be too reactable, because, you know, I want people to still get hit when I do a mix-up, or when I do something that, you know, I'm trying to open you up with. I want it to be that way. But I played in a Lucy class, and all her attacks are damn near telegraphed. So, you know, now I'm like, you know, we just need to find a common ground. But I'm almost out of time, y'all. If you're new, please like and subscribe. Thank y'all for coming out here today. Love y'all, man. Peace out.